Hello everybody, Naughty Nana Dads. How's everybody doing today? Did you have a good weekend? Mine was nice and quiet. Had both the kids over for dinner last night. It was pretty nice. Be even nicer when I get back in my house. Gonna be a while yet. Well, today I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try and pretend I'm important and all. I want to go ahead and get into Trump's speech from Long Island that he did. I'm going to try. Usually everything he says, I have to write everything down because I don't know how to edit and stuff. But now I have a laptop. So I'm going to read it off of there, and then I'm going to give you my take on what he says out of that speech. How's that sound? Now, before we get started, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Love me, like me, share me. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Have a lot of fun here, and it's free. And you're already here. Doesn't take that much effort to, that's all, just, yeah, we have fun here. So anyway, let's get into his speech, shall we? At 2 minutes and 4 seconds, he says, and we're going to bring back religion into our country. We'll bring it back. These encounters with death have not broken my will. They have really given me a much bigger, stronger mission. Well, to just write that off, nobody's taken anybody's religion. He said that in 2020, never happened. You still got Christmas. You can still go to any church you want to go to. So, nobody's taken away your religion. Now, the next one we go to is this is what he said earlier today. I was honored to receive the endorsement of the rank and file membership of the Teamsters. I love the Teamsters. They delivered all that concrete for those buildings I built in New York. They delivered the big, heavy, most beautiful trucks you ever seen. They delivered the concrete, all those buildings I built in New York. He's got 6 buildings in the skyline of New York. That's all, just 6. And no, they did not. The Teamsters did not endorse you. They didn't. The rank and file did not endorse you. They chose not to endorse any candidate this year. However, 163 other independent unions of the Teamsters endorse Kamala, just saying. So there's that. And now the next thing, we go down to 7 minutes into his speech, and he says over the past 3 years, New York City, there's been a 29% increase in robbery, 36% increase in felonious assault, 42% increase in grand larceny, 75% increase in carjackings. Did you buy a nice car lately? Well, 200 police officers leave New York Police Department a month. Not true. So anyway, here's what really happened over the past 3 years. New York crime has increased, he said. Well, as of February 1st, 2024, New York is ranked 20th overall in the 50 states of the United States of America and considered one of the safest, larger cities in the country. And an overall crime rate of 4.2% dip in July 2024. And from January 2024 to July 31st, 2024, burglary saw a 12% drop, robbery saw a 3.8% drop, felonious assault saw a 3.1% drop, and grand larceny came down 1.9%. And fewer people have been killed. Murder rates are down 10.2%. 3,937 illegal guns were taken off the streets, and hundreds of ghost guns with that. Shootings decreased by 19.5% in July alone, and dipped 10.9% in the 7 months prior. Major crime arrests are up 11.3% in July and 10.4% overall in the 6 months. So there's that. And now we go down to, he says, our heavy industries have exported overseas, and our middle class has been eviscerated right here at home. Been eviscerated. Housing costs are out of control. Inflation has cost a typical family $28,000. Think of it. In less than 4 years, $28,000. And we have filthy encampments. We have horrible, disgusting, dangerous, filthy encampments. And homeless people living in places that our children used to play Little League Baseball. Guess what? They're still playing Little League Baseball in those parks. Don't let him fool you. And the truth about the inflation rate is inflation costs a typical family $28,000? No. Under Biden-Harris, the pace of increases peaked at 9.1% at one point in June of 2022, which was the highest in 40 years. But, capital B, capital U, capital T, in August, inflation hit an all-new low of 2.5%. Economists say inflation led to income growth, not just price hikes. Over the past 3.5 years, Americans have seen a net positive increase in their finances because pay rates are going up. Interest rates are coming down, which means you're paying less interest on your mortgage. Thank you, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. And he said, gets down to migrants. There's been, where are we? Migrants are stepping over veterans sleeping, and veterans are sleeping on the street while migrants are getting luxury hotels in their 17th floor suites. Wow. A oldie but a goodie. He's been spouting that crap for years. Migrants. Actually, I did a video on this where Greg Abbott bust over 102,000 migrants to various cities across the United States at a cost of $148 million to the Texas taxpayers. We know that much. And the migrants were then, through the Red Cross, churches, and volunteers, taken to smaller towns from New York City because they completely overwhelmed the city, and took them to hotels that they were housed with veterans. And New York City has received over 37,000 migrants, just dumped off the bus, no money, they have no English, and they're just stuck on the street with nothing. No clothes, no nothing. Just dumped them and the buses left. So all the volunteers, and all they asked Abbott to do was, please, give us a heads up and we'll look after these people. But he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. No food, no clothes, just the clothes on their back. The New York mayor asked him to give us a heads up, but no, he wouldn't. He said, you know what happened the next day? He said, when he was saying that he fought back, that what the hell do you have to lose to vote for me? He said he got backstage and they eviscerated him and stuff. He said, what have you got to lose? Vote for me, right? It's terrible, it's demeaning, and it's horrible. He said, but it's true. So you know what happened the next day? I picked up 10 points with the black population. And now, because of all we've done, we're the highest level of black support in the history of the Republican Party. Back the truck up, Donnie, because 63% of black voters are supporting Kamala. 63%, compared to 13% for Trump. 26% black men under 50 support Trump versus 49% for Harris. 77% of black men over 50 support Kamala. 67% black women support Kamala versus 8% for Trump. So yeah. The man is just deranged. Here we go at... he says, by contrast, I will cut taxes for families, small businesses, and workers, including restoring the SALT deduction, saving thousands of dollars for residents of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and other high-cost states. Going to restore SALT jobs, and factories will pour back into New York. I know how to do it better than anybody's ever known how to do it. He knows how to do everything better, right? He said he's going to do it better. Well, guess what? He passed the SALT deduction in 2017. That was his bill, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Said it would boost the economy. All this on top of several additional tax cuts that would greatly help his rich friends, not you. He wants to get rid of SALT now, which was the key part of his only major piece of legislation that he passed in 4 years. And he says he will eliminate tax on Social Security. But that's only to get the seniors vote. He's not going to do that. There's no way he's going to do that. Then and as soon as he doesn't pass, it's going to be, oh, just like he said about other, oh, did I say that? I lost by a whisker. Oh, I didn't say that, did I? Did I say that? No, I don't know what you're talking about. But he still wants to increase the age to collect Social Security till you're in your 70s? Yeah, let's see how that works. The next thing I want to talk about is he says, I want to be known as one thing. In 2016, I probably won because of the border. I did a great job and the border was good. In 2020, even though I got millions and millions and millions more votes, they said, sir, you get the same number of votes as you did in 2016, 63 million. Sir, you cannot lose. I got millions more. I still lost. You know why? Because Biden beat you. He got 81 million votes. That's why. We're going to have the greatest win in history. We pull this off. It'll be legendary. But in 2020, my people would say, sir, it doesn't help you to speak about the border. Nobody cares. And I said, I want to speak about the border. I did a great job. Sir, nobody cares. It's true. I talk about the border. Nobody cared. The border is not even believable what's happening. I want to be known as your border president. I'm going to be known as your border president. Well, you know what? He could have. If he had said, come on, guys, let's get this border thing done and pass it. But did he do it? No. Well, most of the people, he said that there is 195 countries pouring into the States. Actually, he said there's over 200. Well, most people don't know because there are 195 countries. That's right, in the world, including two countries that are non-members of the United Nations, and they are the Holy See, which is the Vatican, and the state of Palestine. They're the only two that aren't part of the United Nations. The rest are. Now, there's sovereign states, which the Mango Moose Knuckle might be talking about, because they include little, not just countries, but sovereign areas inside of a country. So yeah, there's that. And then he goes on to $38.46. Oh, yes, Springfield. So the mayor of Springfield, and I think he's a very nice person, but instead of saying, we're getting them all out, he says, very simply, we're hiring teachers to teach them. Can you believe it? We're hiring interpreters. So when they go to school and take the of our children, what take the of our children is, I don't know. We have an interpreter. Each one will have a private interpreter. No, there are a few interpreters assigned to each school, not each student. The same as ESL teachers. There's not one assigned to each student. There's a couple at the school that help the English as a second language kids. Just saying. So how about Springfield? Let's see. He said he's leading in Ohio by 15 points. That's not true. He's not leading by 15 points. Kamala has beaten him there too. Trump's got 48% and she's got 49% for now. But that's going to climb this week. Nationwide, she's up 6 points over him. 6 points. And I know, polls, right? but he depends on them. So now we're going to talk about MS-13. He's going on about MS-13. He says, I got to the White House and I said, there's a lot of MS-13 in Ohio. He's stoking more fear there. A lot in every state. And I said, I want MS-13 out of here. They come from various places, a little bit south of Mexico. They come from Mexico too. I said, I want you to do, what I want you to do is I want to bring him out. And a general said, I'm sorry, sir. The countries will not, under any circumstances, allow us to bring them back in. I think he's talking about deporting them and the countries won't take them back. I think that's what it is, but that's my layman English. I said, how long has this been going on? Many years during the Barack Hussein Obama. Has anyone ever heard him? Many years, sir, under Barack Hussein Obama administration. It's been going on for years, so they won't take them. Okay, here's a little heads up. Little history on MS-13. The gang in Long Island, apparently the leader of the gang has now been convicted of murdering 8 people, include 2 teenage girls that he was talking about. And apparently the 2 girls and 7 of their friends had been involved with a series of disputes with these gang members at their high school and stuff. And they were back and forth, you know, like high school kids do. But the MS-13 gang members went to the leader in Long Island there, and they wanted revenge, and they asked permission to kill them, and they got it. So they were out driving around one night looking for trouble, I guess. They seen the 2 girls. They beat them to death with baseball bats and whacked them a couple times with machetes. He said they cut them to little pieces. They didn't. That's neither here or there. But the leader and those responsible were found quickly, and the leader pled guilty to 8 counts of murder, multiple attempted murders, arson, and firearms charges, and is going to serve between 40 and 70 years in prison. His brother was also arrested with him. Now, with the MS-13 guys, they're usually recruited in the States. You know why? Because they originated in Los Angeles. Yeah. They get recruited in the States. They are also recruiting in other countries: El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. That's where they recruit all these kids. And El Salvador, did I say that? And Spain. So they're going international now. But anyway, there are 30 to 50,000 of these gang members globally. 8 to 10,000 are in the United States. MS-13 gangs came in under Obama, he said. That's not true. That gang started in the 80s. And guess who was president in the 80s? Ronald Reagan, from 1981 to 1989. That's when they got going, under a Republican president, not Obama. He says 325,000 missing migrant kids from the border. No, that's not happening. There was an interim report sent to Congress on Tuesday that said that in the past 5 years, 2 of which he was president, more than 32,000 unaccompanied migrant children failed to appear for their migration hearings and their court hearings. And ICE was not able to account for all of their locations. The Department of Health and Human Services is responsible for the care of unaccompanied children. It's ICE's role to ensure their timely and safe transfer to the Department of Health and Human Services, who places them in shelters or qualified sponsors' homes. And a qualified sponsor's home is usually a relative. So this stuff, if I can debunk this stuff on my own with my little trusty laptop here, why aren't these bigger news agencies doing that? I know it's a lot of stuff, but I think it was Midas Touch that suggested putting chyrons underneath the news as he's spouting this crap to debunk it all. I think that's an idea to go with. But anyway, tried something new. Tell me if you like it. I loves you. Take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Mwah. Don't forget to subscribe.